Mic check. One, two. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another live stream. Today is Sunday, March 10th. It's a actually pretty chilly day here in Chicago. Really quick audio. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, just let me know real quick before I continue. I'll just sit here and wait. Loud and clear. Thank you, DMMX. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another live stream. Tonight, we have a few things to talk about. I do want to talk about the topic of fasting smarter, not longer. And I just want to make it clear that it's not that I don't encourage long fasts, because certainly if you can do it, you should. But I think there is a good majority that just has a hard time getting through these fasts and being consistent about it. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. We'll get into that in a bit. But first, for people that don't know, hello, my name is Jerome. I have been fasting on and off since 2019, or at least prolonged fasting since 2019. And fasting is, for me, this isn't some type of fad. It isn't a quick way to lose weight. Well, it is, but it isn't solely just a way to lose weight. This is what I do to keep the weight off. This is what I do to maintain my weight. This is how I take care of my health, is through fasting. It might be unconventional to some, especially for people who aren't used to fasting in general. People are used to intermittent fasting, but I do more prolonged fasts. I think they're very beneficial for what I do. I'm somebody that has been overweight, obese pretty much my entire life, including childhood and adolescence. And fasting is the only thing that has worked for me successfully. It's the only thing that I've been able to do to consistently lose weight and keep the weight off. I am somebody that deals with binge eating. I do have a problem when it comes to portion control. I have a problem when it comes to restricting myself from certain types of foods. Anytime I do something like that, that is a trigger for me to binge eat. Fasting is a way to kind of keep things at bay. I know it might seem a little counterintuitive to some, like you binge eat, but then you fast. And those are such opposite extremes. And sometimes, in a way, it is. But through therapy and what I'm doing right now, it's something that helps me. And I don't know everything when it comes to fasting, but as I continue this journey and I let it, as I grow into it and go through trial and error and learn more about what I'm doing, I learn more about myself. I uncover things about myself that I might not have known before. I don't do these things perfect. And I don't think anybody can ever go through their weight loss, health, and happiness journey perfectly. But the one thing that I think I would like to continue promoting is that fasting is something that all of us can do to benefit ourselves, our health, our mental health as well. And only through trial and error, only through experience will we really know what works for us. And that's not just through fasting, that's the way we eat and the way we exercise and the way we live our lives. I'll get into that in a little more detail later as well. But when it comes to how I do what I do, I fast for 90 plus hours so that I can eat without any caloric restrictions, so that I can eat without any kind of restrictions when it comes to carbs or types of foods. And I'm not saying that that's how you have to do it, but that's what works for me. And not only can I do that and eat 4, 5, 6,000 calories, but I can continue to lose weight. And I have steadily been losing weight since I have restarted this journey, losing over 70 pounds in about 4.5 months. And I'm on the road to hitting my goal weight in a short amount of time, it looks like. And once I hit that, then it'll be time for maintenance. And it's something that I'm going to talk about later too, because I think at this point of where I'm at, I am going to really try to push to get to my goal weight quicker rather than later. And I think it's just, I'm so close to getting there and I just want to get there. Okay, I will get into a lot of these things in a minute. But before I continue on, I want to talk about a consistency check and asking all of you, how have you been when it comes to your journey? I see people in chat and I see the chat going off. So thank you for being in here. Thank you for supporting as always. It's great to have you all here. How has your journey been going? Please feel free to share. Thank you for sharing your vulnerability. If you watch this later, share it in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. I always love to see how people are doing. And I think consistency and having these live streams every week, I think is really important when it comes to that consistency, when it comes to showing up, when it comes to being accountable. This is also an accountability check. Where have you been? How have you been doing? Have you been able to do things day after day after day? If you weren't able to complete the fasts for as long as you intended to, did you do what you had to do when it comes to breaking and start all over? Did you hit the timer again? Or did you just throw the day away? Are you sitting here waiting till Monday because it's Sunday right now, and why not just wait till Monday? And I'm gonna talk about that really quick before I get into that though. Val with another $5 super chat. Val, very nice to see you as always. Congrats, Jerome. Thank you, Val. You're helping and changing the way people see what fasting is about. That is actually one of the big things that I am trying to promote, is that fasting is very beneficial for a lot of people. And maybe it's not for everyone, but I think for a majority of people, I mean, we all fast already. We go to sleep, we're fasting. And sometimes I really think that a lot of us just need time away from food. We need to space ourselves from food, to stop thinking about food all day. Eat your meal, give your body some time to heal after eating, and then eat again. I don't think our bodies are just meant to eat all day, every day. I'm sure there are some different use case scenarios, but even for me, I don't see it ever becoming a thing. I can tell you, I don't ever see eating back to back days as something I want to do on a consistent basis. But it's because I'm a little different and I eat a lot more in one sitting than most people do. So that's why it's different for me. But I think the benefits from taking some time away in eating in between meals is beneficial for me. 70 pounds in 4 months. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Val. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Um, where am I at here? So Mondays. That's what I want to talk about. If you're sitting here saying, well, what's the point? Because the weekend came and I'm just going to wait till Monday. Does this happen every week for you? When you talk like this, does that mean Monday through Thursday you've eaten great? Or does that slip and then Friday through Sunday you just eat whatever? I say this because I don't think that just because you eat not the best on the weekend doesn't mean that you have to completely throw the day away, right? Doesn't mean that you can just do whatever you want. I mean, do whatever you want if that's really what you want to do. But I'm trying to change the thinking for a lot of us. I think one of the things that we all need to remember is good habits, good healthy habits are beneficial for us. And it doesn't mean that we can't have a weekend where we eat whatever, but I think you can still place some structure in that and still benefit from taking care of yourself, prioritizing your health. I just want people to think about how many times you've told yourself, I'm just going to start on Monday. And if you think about that and you can't even count how many times you've told yourself that, don't you think that might be a problem? And I mean, you're preaching to the choir. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of restarting day after day after day, but will eventually turn into weeks after weeks and then longer. And just like my absence on YouTube for over 2 years, I was gone. And I just was waiting till Monday every day until I gained all the weight back. And I don't want to put myself in that position again. One of the things that I'm learning as I'm refining myself on this journey is the mental part of it is so important for me, and learning from my mistakes and learning what I have done in the past and how I can be better about it today. Because I don't ever want, and that's the thing, and I've said this I think on my last stream, and I'm really scared that I'm going to relapse and I'm going to leave YouTube and I'm just going to binge and I'm just going to go through the same shit again. But I don't want that to happen. I want to be able to do this for a year straight, for 3 years straight, for 5 years straight, right? I want to be transparent and accountable. I think sharing the ups and downs of the journey this time instead of just sharing anytime things are good, I think is going to be beneficial. And I just it's a hard part for me, and I'm going to share some of that today too because it wasn't the best eating week for me. It wasn't the best fasting week either, but I'm going to talk about that in a second. I just wanted to talk to all of you about how your accountability has been, how your consistency's been, and talking about rewiring your brain to have better habits, to do healthier things. And again, it doesn't mean that you have to do these things perfectly. That's not what I'm trying to talk about here. I'm not trying to talk about doing things perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be good. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a shitty day, but it doesn't mean that you have to throw everything else away. If some of you are asking, Jerome, what do you mean by throwing the day away? And I'll give you an example of how I used to throw the day away. For me, throwing the day away meant, let's say I started fasting at midnight. I go to sleep. I wake up at 8 in the morning. I go for a walk and I'm like, yeah, like I'm fasting. Things are great. Things are doing well. By 2 p.m., I'm starting to get hungry and I'm trying to fight it. And I'm like, no, Jerome, like just keep going. Just keep going. You told yourself you're going to do a 90-hour fast. You're only 12, 14 hours in. 5 o'clock rolls around. I'm already thinking about eating. And I'm saying these things because I feel like a lot of us feel this way. You told yourself you're going to do a lengthy fast and you're only 15, 16 hours into it. And all of a sudden you're just like, I don't know if I can do this. This is hard. And what seems easier is to eat and think about doing that long fast tomorrow instead. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you feel like you've been in this situation, I'm sharing that because that's how I feel. This is what I've done. And through people I've, talked to, through people I've coached, it's similar stories about throwing the day away. And before you know it, at 7 p.m., you've gone, right? 17, 18 hours fasted, but by 7 p.m., you don't want to do it anymore. you think the best thing you can do right now is just eat whatever you want and start tomorrow. So that's what you do. But instead of structuring your meals and giving yourself maybe healthier options, instead you go spend 50 bucks on DoorDash, 60 bucks on DoorDash and order the shittiest foods possible. And maybe on the way, DoorDash goes and stops at 7-Eleven and picks up whatever candy you want. You don't even take the effort to go leave your home because you'd rather just spend whatever money, because who cares how much it costs, because you're going to start tomorrow. And that's what I mean, is throwing that day away. Maybe even during that day, you had planned to go to the gym and lift some weights, but you didn't do that either because why? Throw the day away. That's what I talk about. And I talk about getting out of those habits because you're essentially just not taking care of yourself, not only in a healthy way, right? When it comes to your eating, but now you're telling your brain this is okay, this is acceptable. You're financially throwing the day away because maybe that wasn't money you really wanted to spend, but you just said, whatever, doesn't matter because I'm going to start tomorrow. This is how I used to think. Even when it comes to someone called me, someone texted me, I'm not going to worry about that right now. It doesn't matter because all I want to do right now is eat and do nothing and care about nothing else. Because all I want to do is stuff myself. And then that ends up becoming a binge. And that ends up becoming excess instead of having a good refeed. And by saying having a good refeed, it doesn't mean you have to eat the healthiest. It just means eating to satiety, eating until you're full, not forcing yourself through a binge. It's those habits that take time to change. It's rewiring the brain so you do not keep falling into that same pit over and over again. I think about these things and it scares me because that's so easy for me to go back to. It's so easy for me to fall into that hole because it's comforting, at least in that moment in time. The thought of stopping the stream right now and getting something to eat and just pigging out on whatever food and laying on this couch and watching TV, it sounds amazing. That's how bad my food addiction is. Because the thought of that, I would love to do that. I'm not going to lie. It's something I want to do. But I have to remind myself every day that my life isn't going to be better for it. I am not going to enjoy the next day knowing I did that. And I think the sooner we can start being honest with ourselves and telling ourselves that life isn't supposed to be that way, that, yeah, we can enjoy life, but it doesn't have to be an all out binge, is a good step forward. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to binge again because I have those thoughts, but it's that fight that I'm doing every single day to remind myself I don't want to be back in that situation. So, when it comes to fasting longer versus fasting smarter, that's kind of what I mean. There are a lot of people who want to fast 36 hours, who want to fast 72 hours, who want to fast 90 hours like me, who want to fast for a week, who want to fast for a month. And if you have the excess weight on you and you feel physically fine, I'm all for it. I can support that as long as you're doing it in a healthy way. I don't, I mean, I do lengthy fasts. I've been fasting for an average of 4 days for over 4.5 months, right? I've done week long fasts. I've done these lengthy fasts, but there's a difference between doing these fasts comfortably and then fasting with these goals, not hitting these goals, and then throwing the day away, like I talked about before. And so I ask you, think about all the times you told yourself you were going to do a 72-hour fast or a 36-hour fast or a 1 week fast, and think about how many times you weren't able to complete it. Now think about what you did after that. Was it an all out binge? And after that all out binge, did you get back on fasting the day after? Or did you just let the day go by and you ate the whole day and you let your insulin spike so your body was never back into fat burning mode? And then think about how long it took before you fasted again, or at least attempted to fast again. That's what I mean about fasting smarter, because fasting smarter really is coming more down to consistency and hitting that timer again, even if you didn't hit the fast you wanted to hit. That's what I talk about when I talk about fasting smarter, because fasting smarter also means that you're going to get back on the horse when it comes to exercise. You're going to get back on the horse when it comes to your diet. You're going to get back on the horse when it comes to shortening your eating window. Fasting smarter isn't just about fasting, it's about building those habits, getting those good habits in, and doing them over and over again before they just become routine. When I wake up first thing in the morning, I don't think about anything else except going for a walk and going to the gym. That's my brain being rewired, I feel like, because for those 2 plus years when I was just binging and I would wake up in the morning, the thought of leaving my apartment felt awful. Didn't want to do that at all. Now I can't wait to leave the apartment and go for a walk and get some fresh air. And now that the weather is getting better and the sun is out longer, oh my God, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And really, I think that is such a mental change in me. And I think that's a mental change in a lot of people once you start rewiring your brain that way. And I don't know if it's the endorphins of going for a walk that excite me, but I can't think of doing anything else anymore when I wake up in the morning. It's the first thing I want to do is get out, go for a walk, and just enjoy the day. Have the thoughts in my head like, what am I going to do today? What does today look like? Am I going to be able to do this walk faster than I normally did? How's my energy level? And it's the same thing when I go to the gym. And I don't think it was like that when I first started doing this on day one. Yes, I was going for a walk, and I think it was more tiring for me than it was enjoyable. But a lot of that's changed now. I don't get tired when I go for my walks, and I walk an hour and a half usually almost every day at this point. And it's a leisurely walk, but I think my speed has gotten faster over time just because I've lost so much weight, and I just really enjoy it. When it comes to fasting smarter, I'm also talking about the fact that you can build these big goals for yourself when it comes to fasting, but it also means that if you can't hit your goal, you have your backup plan in place, you refeed, and then you hit that fasting timer again. That's fasting smarter. That's better than saying, I'm going to do a 7 day fast. You do a 7 day fast, and then you don't do anything for a while after because you told yourself that was really, really tough. And then you don't watch your diet, you don't exercise. And how are you going to build consistency through that? Or you say you're going to do a 7 day fast, you do 3 days, and then it ends up turning into a binge. And then you just repeat that cycle over and over. Sometimes it's taking a step back and it's honestly asking yourself in your head, is this doable? And is it doable for a lengthy amount of time? Is this something you can do day in and day out? And when I talk about fasting smarter, it also doesn't mean that, okay, I'm going to fast for 18 hours. And then the next day, I'm going to fast for 23. And then I'm going to fast for 36. And then I'm going to fast for 72, which is fine. Also, I mean, that's a great plan if you can do that. But sometimes it's okay to take a step back and say, after the 72, I'm going to see how I feel. And if I don't feel the best, then maybe I'm going to do a 23. I'm going to go back and do an OMAD. I'm going to keep doing an OMAD until I'm ready to do an alternate day or to do another 72. That is fasting smarter because you're building that consistency. You're reminding your body that it's going to take some time before it eats again, that your body can heal before it eats again. That's fasting smarter. That's building consistency. That is building your fasting muscle. I'm not sure I have much else when it comes to doing that. Yeah, I mean, the last note I have here is trial and error is how you build experience. And I might have talked about this last week too. You don't even know what trial and error is going to look like until you start fasting consistently. You have no idea. You have no idea what's going to work for you until you actually start doing it. You have no idea what that weight on the scale is going to look like until you start doing it. You're not going to know. How are you going to know if you just keep throwing the day away because you know that a 7-day fast works? Of course a 7-day fast is going to work. You're going to lose weight on a 7-day fast. But how are you truly going to know what kind of fast is going to be tolerable for you until you start doing it? Until you start doing it consistently, until you start doing it as a rolling fast and you're like, okay, this feels good. I can work with this. Or this works with this kind of eating window, and I can exercise and I feel good and I can go to work. But how are you going to know if you're not doing any of these things? And instead, you're giving yourself this gigantic goal of fasting for X amount of days. And maybe your life, other parts of your life suffer from it, right? You're not able to do the things you normally do because you're fasting for such a long time that you can't even do the things that feel normal to you anymore. Fast smarter, not longer. Not that you can't fast for long, because again, I encourage it. I just want people to know that there are other ways of doing this too. Fasting should be a lifestyle, it shouldn't be a quick fix, although it can be, but adopt it more as a lifestyle than anything else. That's really, really how I see it. Oh my God. Jesus. DMMX with $100 donation. Oh my God. Thank you for the support. Jesus. Again, thank you so much. Hey, Jerome, I didn't have the best week myself. The first 2 days of my fasting week, I didn't lose weight. I ate with family after my aunt's service. Altogether, I ate 5 days. I still managed to lose zero point 0.8 pounds. I'm down 27.7 pounds and weigh 295.5. Congrats to you and keep it up. DMMX1. First of all, again, thank you for such a huge donation. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. This is what I mean though, too. And you know what? Like, and I know you've been talking about this and how things haven't been going exactly the plan. And this is, I'm going to say this to everyone here too. This right here is life. This is what happens in life. There are people who will either talk to me or have read things in the comments and they'll say, I wish I could just be by myself for a week or a month. I wish I could be secluded on an island by myself for a month so that I can only focus on me and fast. And you know what? Maybe that might be beneficial, but that isn't how life works. What are you going to do when you come back home and then you have to figure out life? And I say this because life is going to happen. And that happened to me this week too. And I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but sometimes you have to kind of figure out how to maintain what you're doing through these periods of life. And you have to give yourself some grace and tell yourself that life happens and things aren't always going to be the best. But even for DMMX here, to still eat maybe those amount of days that he didn't intend to eat, there are still other days that he took care of what he needed to do. And maybe it wasn't the best, but that's still progress. And just imagine that if you kept that up versus just giving up the entire week, how much more damage could have been done. But here, even still managed to lose zero point 0.8 pounds. I mean, I love that. And it looks like you're under 300, you're down almost 30 pounds. I mean, keep going. I love to hear it. And, again, I'm so sorry about everything that's going on. And hopefully you're able to just kind of get back on the horse and do what you need to do. But again, this is my only way of thanking people this way. DMMMX1, thank you for such a huge $100 donation. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you. So I actually want to talk about, okay, wait, I'm looking at my notes here. Okay. Yes. Let me talk about, okay, today is day 126 of my fasting journey, everyone. I should have said this earlier. I'm on day 126. That is 18 weeks that I have been doing consistent rolling fasts, 126 days. In those 18 weeks, I have now lost over 70 pounds. I will get into the numbers in a little bit, but that is 18 weeks of consistency. That is 18 weeks of accountability. That's 18 weeks of showing up. That's me doing this for 18 weeks, being transparent on YouTube, on a public platform. That's me being accountable because it's the only way I know how to be accountable. This is how I'm able to continue doing what I'm doing because I'm showing that accountability. I am still so surprised how quickly these 18 weeks have come by. And I can only imagine how much longer it's going to take till I get to my goal weight. And when I do, which now I'm really trying to push for, I can't wait to get there because I want to show you all how to keep the weight off and how I'm going to figure that out, because that's also going to take trial and error. Even though I've done it before in the past, I think I have new methods of doing some of this. But yes, I'm excited to get there. I am currently working on my 32nd consecutive fast. So I have been doing 32 rolling fasts in the last 4.5 months. Four and a half, yeah, 4.5 months exact. I'm currently 21 hours into my 30-second fast, and I'm going to be doing at least a 90-hour fast this time. So let me talk about yesterday. I ended up, so you all know I average about a 90+ hour fast. And I think I talked about how I was starting to pepper in a 65-hour fast. Well, yesterday I ended up breaking my fast at 60 hours. I ended up having like a cookout and I was with friends and family, and it was great. But I only fasted for 60 hours. And the sad part about fasting for 60 hours is friends and family came at hour 59, and I couldn't get myself to break my fast because I was so dead set on doing at least 60 hours. And that's problem number one, is that I am starting to, and so this is the thing. I'm really trying to balance my life out and telling myself, hey, life isn't always going to be perfect. But I felt so guilty about not even doing a 65 that at the 59th hour, while other people were eating, I was waiting for the hour to turn to 60. And I think that's a problem because that's not how we should live our lives. I give myself some grace though, because that's better than me saying I'm not going to eat until hour 65. And by that time, all of the food that was being grilled would have been gone or cold. And how can I enjoy my life by living that way? So again, I waited an extra hour. It's still not what I should have done, but that's what happened. Here's the thing though, too. My eating window was over 9 hours. I think it was close to 10 hours. And I told myself I was giving myself a long eating window. And I feel pretty proud about that. Being able to have a long eating window and not giving up, not throwing the day away. So not only did I fast for a shorter amount of time, but I had such a long eating window. But this morning when I woke up, I got right back on it. I ended my fast or I ended my eating window last night. And this morning I got up, I went for my 5 mile walk. I went to the gym to lift weights and I'm just doing what I need to do again. And I just showed you I'm at a 21 plus hour fast, now going for another 90. Yesterday was tough though, because I ate pretty shitty for almost 10 hours. Let me kind of think about everything I ate. I typically eat vegetables and meat right at the beginning, but that wasn't what was available. Instead, I ate hot dogs and rice because I'm Filipino and I eat rice with everything. I cooked white rice. I ate Filipino spaghetti that my cousin made and it was delicious. I had There was a whole spread of Girl Scout cookies that I ate. I did eat a banana because I think that was the only healthy thing I brought at the cookout. I had tortilla chips and salsa and guacamole, and I think that's what I ate at the cookout. I can't remember if I ate anything else. So it wasn't heavy in protein, which kind of sucks because I like eating things that have more protein in it. Later that day, I ended up going to my mom's house and there was other Filipino food and I ate egg rolls and I had like this noodle soup. And then at the end of the night, I drank beer and hard liquor. And that's how I ended my refeed on beer and hard liquor after 10 hours. Um, and I'm not going to lie, today, the hunger is hitting pretty hard because I feel like I didn't eat the foods I normally like to eat. I didn't have the heavy protein stuff. And I think that's something I'm going to have to remember next time is to carry food with me that's heavy in protein in case I'm not able to eat meat or whatever. But I also know that as hungry as I am right now, and even though the refeed was long, but it was more carb heavy than anything else. I keep reminding myself that even though I'm hungry right now, it's okay. I'm just hungry. I'm not going to die. I just ate a shit ton of food and I don't need to break right now because I don't have to. This is something that for many people who are thinking about breaking, anytime they think about breaking, this is something that you should keep in mind. You should think about that. Ask yourself, are you really hungry? I love that I'm able to say this too, because I'm saying this to you right now in real time, in real life. I am fasting right now. I am doing a 90 plus hour fast. I'm only 21 plus hours into it. And this is how I work this out in my brain. Number one, I'm not throwing the day away. Even though I ate for 9 plus hours, imagine if I just threw the day away and I said, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done with YouTube. I'm going to go binge for the next year. Crazy, right? But I've done it. That's what happened the last time. And I was gone for 2 plus years. That's how bad my food addiction is. But this is me right now being transparent about what goes through my head and how I have to deal with it. So I did. I woke up this morning and I did what I had to do. But I'm also reminding myself, yeah, I'm hungry, but I'm not going to die. This is just hunger right now. You ate so much yesterday. You're going to get through this fast. That's the other part of this too. I have goals to hit. I want to get to my goal weight and nothing's going to stop me from getting there. I feel fine otherwise. I'm not weak. I'm not lightheaded. I don't have headaches. I'm not dizzy. I'm not fatigued. I'm just hungry. That's all it is. I'm just hungry. And because for me, because it's just hunger, that means I can fight through it. That means I don't have to break. I've gotten so far and I want to hit goal weight so bad, and I just want to hit it so bad so I can start my maintenance phase, because I have this whole idea of how many days I'm going to start charting maintenance, and I'm going to keep bragging about how long I'm maintaining for, because I know that is such a soft spot for people. Oh, Jerome's not going to maintain it. How are you going to keep the weight? Motherfucker, I will show you. That's how much I mean it. Did I miss a Oh, Brian. Hello, Brian. Brian Ricarte. I don't know if I'm saying that right. With a $5 donation, Brian, thank you for the support. I don't remember if you've donated or supported before, but thank you so much. I lost my job back in December. I've been out of work since and decided to take time to get my health in order. With fasting and exercise, I'm down 45 pounds. Brian, that's amazing. That's great. And you know what? That's taking a situation that isn't the best and making the best out of it. I got laid off May of 2023, and I wish that's what I had done, was to start taking care of my health then. But that's great that you're able to prioritize your health. And this can also help you later on, right? Because now your health is up here, your job and whatever. I mean, that isn't as important as your health. And yeah, we can talk about money and whatever, and that's something you're going to need to balance out. But I love that you are taking your health back, that you are prioritizing your health. So good on you. Congratulations on 45 pounds down. Brian, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Um, so let me see. That's what happened with me right now. I ended up doing a 60-hour fast. I ended up having a very long eating window. I ate pretty shitty, but I'm back on it again. I'm hitting that timer again because I want to be consistent. I'm hitting that timer again because I know that I have goals to reach. I'm hitting that timer again because I know I'm not hungry. I'm hitting that timer again because I know that I can still go for a 5-mile walk, that I can still lift weights, that I can still go to work. And hunger is the only side effect of fasting for me right now. I have been doing this for so long that other side effects like fatigue and weakness and headaches and lightheadedness are not a thing for me. I can't say for the rest of you that that's what's going to happen as you start to fast longer and more consistent, but how are you even going to know until you do it? How are you going to know until you do it? That's that's the $1,000,000 question. You have no room to speak until you just start doing these on a more consistent basis to find out what works for you. I mean, I'm at the point where I don't take electrolytes anymore. I know people ask that question a lot. Jerome, do you take electrolytes? No, I don't. The only time I take electrolytes is if I'm fasting for over 100 hours. And even then, I'm not really taking the recommended whatever it is. Sometimes I just put some salt under my tongue and then some potassium with like the no salt that I have. And maybe I'll pop in like a magnesium citrate capsule, and that's it. But for the most part, all of these 90 plus hour fasts I've been doing for 4.5 months, I don't take electrolytes unless I'm doing that week-long fast that I did. Or at the very beginning when I first started fasting again after not doing it for 2+ years. When I think I had a headache the very first 2 fasts I did. That was the only time. Or maybe the second fast I did only. But yeah, that's the level I'm at. And that's the reason I know to do 90-hour fast, because it's all trial and error. This is something I've done in the past, and it's something that I know that works. And I have shown all of you literally through these like slides that I'm going to show you in a minute that I know what I'm doing because it's trial and error. I have worked through it. I have the experience to do this. You're only going to know what you're capable of until you start doing it on a more consistent basis. Okay. Oh God, fit check. I forgot about fit check. Okay. Fit check is where I kind of stand up and I show you what I look like. two things here. One, I ate like shit yesterday. I feel very bloated, but I'm gonna do fit check. So okay, keep that in mind. Two, I'm wearing white, and white just shows rolls more, but whatever. I just I gotta show you, and you know, whatever. Okay, fit check. So here we go. My foot's asleep. Give me a second. Oh, my foot's asleep because I've been sitting Indian style. Really quick, for those that are new, when it comes to these fit checks, right now I'm wearing a size small shirt. Um, this is a like a compression shirt because I was outside by the lake earlier today, and this kind of keeps me warm. I am wearing boys large pants right now. So just keep that in mind when you see this fit check. Yes, size small adult shirt, and then boys pants. And yes, I'm wearing white, and it shows like rolls or whatever. It's fine. This is like where a lot of the loose skin is. Um, and even back here. But yeah, it's better if I wore a black shirt because then it doesn't like whatever. But yes, fit check everyone. I will do this every week, regardless of whatever I'm wearing, just so you understand. This is me at 100, and well, I weighed more now because I finished my refeed, but I'm at one. I'm around 150 right now. My goal weight is 140, and I'm 5'3". So I'm short, which is why the weight is my weight or whatever. My goal is 140 pounds. And yeah. Okay. So let me see here. Slides. Okay. It's time for nerdy stats, everyone. This is where I take a moment and show everyone the real numbers of what I do when it comes to fasting. So let us begin. These are all the fasts I've been doing since November 6th of 2023. From November 6th of 2023 till today, March 10th, 2024, I have completed 31 consecutive fasts. 31 consecutive rolling fasts. Jerome, what are rolling fasts? This means that every fast you see here was followed by a short refeed, a short eating window, and then I went right back into another fast. That is what a rolling fast is. It's one prolonged fast followed by a short eating window, followed by another rolling fast. So a 46-hour fast was then followed by a short eating window and then a 67-hour fast, so on and so forth. You will see the things highlighted in yellowish are my shorter fasts that were under 90 hours for the most part. You'll see fast number 31 was only 60 hours. That's the one I did recently, the one I was just talking about. The things highlighted in green were my longer fasts during this time. 163 hours on fast number 5, which is almost a 1 week fast. Anyway, these 31 fasts average 92 hours and 28 minutes. So these 31 fasts, because right now I'm on number 32, but obviously I'm not averaging that out, 92 and a half hours, which is now about 3.5 hours shy of a 4-day fast. So essentially a 4-day fast followed by eating windows. Every time I fast for 92 something hours, I eat, obviously. And that's how I roll into these fasts. I have done 31 eating windows. When I talk about refeed, I'm talking about an eating window. It's interesting because these are 31 times I have eaten, right? I have eaten or refed 31 times. I am on day 126, which means I have only eaten 31 days out of 126 of them. But not only did it's not that I ate for 31 days, I didn't eat an entire day. I have only been eating for an average of 4 hours and 14 minutes out of these 31 eating windows. Out of the 126 days that have passed, I have only eaten for an average of 4 hours and 14 minutes 31 times. That's how that works. Okay, exercise wise, exercise has not changed at all, except I have just found myself exercising more, which is just, I'll bring in 2 points on this, but let's just talk about week 18, which is just this current week. I have been walking a minimum of 1 hour a day, almost every day. If it's not every day in the week, it's 6, and then 1 week was 5 days. But for the most part, I walk at least an hour a day. These walks are nothing strenuous. I live in Chicago, so for the most part, everything is flat except when I was in LA a couple weeks ago. When I was in LA a couple weeks ago, I was staying in West Hollywood, and my hotel was at the top of, it was on Sunset Boulevard, and I remember one day I walked somewhere else and I had to the grade was so high. But for the most part, I walk very leisurely. It's about a 5-mile walk at this point, sometimes longer. Some other days I walk even longer than that. I'll do multiple walks just because I'm bored and I want some exercise and I just want to be out and people watch and just not be in my apartment because I get bored, which is one of the things I do too when I'm fasting. I don't want to be in my apartment all day. Sucks. Sometimes I want to go for a walk. And I go for a walk too because I know when I'm fasting, I'm burning fat. I'm just accelerating the fat loss as I'm doing it. Also, for week 18, I went to the gym 7 times this week. I went to the gym every day this week. Now, let me talk about that caveat. When I say strength training, I am not going crazy at the gym. I literally go to just a Planet Fitness or the gym that I have here in my apartment complex, and I just kind of make sure my form is good. I'm not lifting super heavy. Some days I lift heavier than others, but to me, it's more about getting the form correct. So whether I'm doing a bench press or I'm doing, like, what is that called when you grab up and you pull down for your back, a back pull, or pull ups, just any kind of thing. Like, to me, what's more important is the form. I want to make sure my form is correct. I don't care if I'm lifting, I'm not trying to do 1 rep maxes. I will do like 12 to 16 reps. So they're pretty light. And yes, for people who ask, I lift even if I'm 90 hours fasted. When I went to the gym and I was doing a week fast, I was still lifting on days 5, days 6, or whatever it was. For the most part, I still lift, and I might not be lifting super heavy, but I just enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy lifting, and you know, it's just, I don't know. I enjoy going out and doing that kind of stuff, especially when you're not eating and you need things to do. Like, I like doing it. It's fun. Okay, next slide. Sleep. Sleep is still, I think, out of all the things that I do, sleep is the hardest thing for me to do better. This week was better, at least, than the previous week, getting 6+ hours of sleep. I keep telling myself I'm going to do a commitment to sleep better, but I keep finding myself sleeping only 6 hours a night. I would love to do at least 6.5 to 7, but working on it. Okay. The other slide that people really like to see is my weight. So, remember, I started this at 217.8 pounds, 98.8 kilo on day 1, November 6th. This is what I weighed. Today is day, oh, did it not? Yeah, today is day 126, but I just want to put my lowest weight here, which was yesterday. Yesterday, I weighed in at 147 pounds, 66.7 kilo, which means I have now lost 70.8 pounds or 32.1 kilo in 125 days. In pretty much 18 weeks, I have lost 70.8 pounds. The last couple of weeks, the weight has been coming off very, very slowly, but that's also because I'm getting very close to quote unquote normal weight. I'm pretty lean at this point. I went from wearing a size 38 waist to wearing a size 28 waist. And I mean, like I said, I'm wearing boys pants right now because I'm 5'3" and I'm short and they fit me pretty well. Even this shirt. So this shirt is an adult small, but it's starting to get long on me. I do have extra small shirts. but they're not fitting exact right now. I'm also wondering if they're not fitting exact because I feel like my shoulders have gotten wider than even the last time when I lost weight before. So I don't even know if I can properly fit into it. But so like even with the small shirt, right? Like I feel like the shirt is getting long. Um, it just sucks. I mean, that's the thing about being short is adult smalls are big when you start getting lower in weight. But I feel like I'm talking into the mic. I feel like this shirt has gotten too long on me. Um, maybe not. I don't know. I guess God, ugh, I'm like so self-conscious of the rolls, but like I'm wearing a compressed shirt under here. That's just the reality. I see, like, to me, the shirt looks too frumpy. But see, I don't like this either. Like, it's just not. I mean, what can I do? I just got to keep working on myself, right? When I wear black, it doesn't show as much. But like, here's the thing: I feel comfortable in my skin, and even though like I might feel a little insecure and self conscious, I don't even think I could have done that when I first lost the weight. I don't think I could have shown that kind of stuff. And that's me growing. That's me being more comfortable with who I am. And like to me, yeah, I used to weigh 100 pounds more, right? I used to weigh 235 at my heaviest. And I've been obese for like 4 decades, right? For 40 plus years. And this right now, this is my body. And that's just how things are. And I'm just going to keep working on it. I mean, I'm a 43-year-old man, right? I'm middle aged at this point. And so, like, things aren't going to be whatever. But you know what? I'm very happy with my skin. And that's why I will stand up and I'll show you guys because that's just life. That's what happens. Okay. Let's get back into these slides. Um, Next slide here. So to goal weight, again, I'm 5'3", 1.6 meters. I have lost a total of 70.8 pounds. I am now 91% complete. I have 7 pounds left to lose. Actually, that's what I wanted to talk about. So I have 7 pounds to go. And my plan was to keep peppering in 65-hour fasts to get acclimated to doing shorter fasts. But I'm not going to lie, I want to hit 140 quicker, sooner rather than later. And I think at this point, I'm just going to keep doing 90s until I get to 140 because I want to get to 140 by like the first week of April. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's going to be the smartest idea because going from 90-hour fast and then all of a sudden doing 42-hour fast because that's my plan. I don't know how well that's going to go, but I'm only going to know by doing it, right? So I want to hit maintenance and I want to hit 140 and I'm just going to keep doing 90s now until I get to that point. So we'll see what happens. I just wanted to share that before. I mean, I'll probably talk about it in a video later on, but that's kind of where my head is at right now. Okay, so this slide here talks about every single fast that I have done and talks about how much weight I've lost per fast. The stuff that is shaded in green is obviously where I have lost the most weight, which is almost all at the beginning. But take a look at the last couple weeks here. Look at the fasts number 30 and 31. I mean, 30 was a 95-hour fast and I lost 0.4 pounds. Fast number 31 was only 60 hours and I only lost 0.2 pounds. I actually thought I wasn't going to lose any weight on the 65-hour or the 60-hour fast, but luckily I still lost 0.2 pounds. I thought this was going to be the first week I wasn't going to lose any weight. Altogether though, I have lost 2.2 pounds per fast. So far, currently, I still have not gained any weight or plateaued at all. Every single time I have stepped on the scale for the last 4.5 months, I have lost weight. Yes, the last fast was only 0.2 pounds, but it was still 0.2 pounds. I still weighed in at 147 flat versus the last fast at 147.2. I'm hoping that I'll lose a little more on this 90-hour fast. I don't know how this 9-hour, almost 10-hour eating window went, but I mean, I think records or history has shown that I still continue to lose weight. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, on the opposite end of things are my refeeds. And this is a little concerning for me too. So this is the weight that I gain after every single refeed. Of the last 31 refeeds I have done, I average about 4.5 pounds that I gain per refeed. The thing that's a little concerning for me is the fact that if you look at refeed number 31, I gained a lot more weight than I was at refeed number 30. Um, we'll see what happens with this. I'm hoping I'm still going to get back. So I'm 152.2 today is what I weighed in at. And my lowest is 147. So I'm hoping to still lose a little weight at that point, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, that was from last week. So that is my nerdy slides at the moment. Okay. I forgot to say this at the beginning too, but if you have Q&A, you can ask your questions. If you have questions, you can ask them now. This is the Q&A section. I see Angela has a question here. So I'll start with Angela's question. But before I get to that, I do want to talk about coaching. So coaching is something I have been doing pretty regularly at this point. I am still taking new clients per se. If you are looking for some kind of accountability coaching or weight loss or fasting or just talking about the mindset and a strategy when it comes to fasting, coaching is something that I do offer at this point. You can go to calendly.com/finally fasting. It is actually in my description. The link is in the description if you are looking for some type of accountability coaching. I will point out here too that if you haven't done any kind of coaching, there is a free 15-minute consultation where you can actually just take 15 minutes and talk with me. And I've done that with a lot of people. And some people, they're not even looking for coaching per se, but maybe they just want to talk and say what's up. And I don't mind doing that because I feel like, I don't know, I like the fasting community and I think it's great. And I love being able to help people out. So again, no obligation. And I tell people too, pretty much everything that I share on my live streams and my videos is what I teach when I coach, except there's more of a personal touch to it, right? We figure a plan out that works for you. We check in. I give clients spreadsheets so that they can log their numbers and they can have nerd stats like me too. I mean, I use it because that helps me figure trends out. So again, calendly.com/finally fasting. If you are curious about that, because I know people have questions about that. One last thing, I am doing something new. I mean, I did this before when I had my channel, but I have reactivated the membership portion for finally fasting. And one of, I'm already forgetting how to pronounce it right. If it was Kayla, had recommended it to me. And what I'm going to start doing now for people who join, there's a membership portion. There are two tiers, but there's one tier where I am doing a members only live stream every Wednesday, starting this Wednesday. It'll be 3 times out of the month, but starting Wednesdays, I am going to start doing members only live streams, but these live streams are going to be different. So I just want to like put this out there before you guys even think about joining. Cause again, there's no obligation, but I want to take that time to just talk to chat. So it's not where I'm going to be, unless chat doesn't have anything to talk about, then sure, I'll talk. But I want to do something different on Wednesdays. It's going to be more of an accountability live stream. So anyone who comes in there, they can ask questions. We can chat about what's going on and how people are doing. And it's more where I give people the room to talk and I interact with them through chat instead of what I do here, where I kind of just speak outwards. So again, if you're interested, you can find the join button. I think on iOS, it doesn't show up on your phone for some reason. So you might have to do it on desktop, but I'll talk about this later. Again, no obligation, but I will start doing Wednesday live streams for like 45 minutes every Wednesday, 3 times out of the month. So yeah, just FYI. Malungai Mark with a $10 super chat. Malungai, how's it going? I don't know if you've supported before. Thank you for the $10 super chat, which doesn't even have a super chat or any chat in it. So thank you so much, Malungai. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Okay. Thank you for the support. Thank you. Thank you. I'm always so bad at saying thank you, but hopefully you know that I appreciate the support. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay. Let me scroll back up here and find Angela's question because I said that was where I was going to go first. Here we go. Angela says, are you looking at your fat loss, not just what the scales say? No, I'm not looking at my fat loss. I mean, I don't have a scale that measures fat. I'm sure you're bulking up with muscles, so fat is going down. No, and you know what? That's what I've noticed too. Like, I feel like I know it's weird. I don't, oh, oops. Like, I can't show you here. But I feel wider and like I'm very firm, like on my upper body, and I lift legs too, and I just feel firmer all over. I have loose skin, and sometimes it just shows in unflattering ways. But you know, like I look at like as I'm talking and I see this, I'm like, oh, my shoulders, like I'm like sitting here trying to flex. But yes, no, I agree with you, Angela. But you can't see it on the scales. And you're right. I have a ref no scale, so you get fat percentage. I should look into getting one of those. I should really look into getting one of those. Thank you, Angela, for the question. Veggie Nana Love, have you done blood work yet? No, I'm so bad at this. I haven't even rescheduled my doctor's appointment yet. I definitely need to do that. I have not yet. And once I do, I'm gonna make a video. I just haven't done it. I just haven't done it. Okay. Steven, hi again, Steven. Hi from Lombard, raised in Chicago, but a closet suburbanite now. Hey, Steven, how's it going? Nice to see you again. Will you start to cap your refeed calories as a tool if the scale doesn't move, especially if you shorten your fast and the scale goes up? Yeah. So, as far as capping my refeed, which essentially sounds like you're asking me, am I going to start making sure I don't overeat, that I put a cap on my calories? Yeah, that's actually going to happen during the maintenance phase. I will start curbing the amount I eat, and we're going to see how that goes. I am thinking if I eat every other day, every 42-hour fast, my plan is to eat about 4,500 calories max. And that's going to be dependent on my exercise too, but that's kind of where my head is at. And I don't think we'll really know until I get to that point. Oops. Sorry. Christian with a Steven, thank you for the question. Steven with the $5 super chat. Here is my thank you gesture. Thank you for the support, Christian. I appreciate the $5 super chat. Curious your plan after you lose the weight, sticking with the prolonged fast. So yeah, Christian, just like I was telling Steven, so my plan with these here's my plan for maintenance. Initially, this is my initial plan, is to do 42-hour fasts, which is essentially an alternate day fast, maybe a little longer than an alternate day fast. But my plan is to do 42-hour fasts, continue to do the exercise that I'm doing, which is walking about an hour and a half a day, and going to the gym and lifting weights. That is my plan, and eating about 4,500 calories max. I don't know how well that's going to work, but I won't know until I do it, right? I know this is something I've done in the past and I've had success, but it might be different now, like 2.5, 3 years later. But that's my plan. And so for anyone who's wondering, Wait, your plan is to eat every other day? Your plan isn't to eat every day? No, my plan is not to eat every day. I don't want to eat every day. Also, I eat way too much. If I ate every day, I would have to limit myself to maybe 2250 calories per day, 2300, and that doesn't sound like something I can do because I just eat way too much. This doesn't mean you have to do it this way. I'm just saying, I'm explaining what I'm going to do because I have an issue when it comes to eating. I overeat. I have trouble with portion control. But yes, Christian, that is my plan. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Scrolling back up. Um, Thank you. I want to say Gorge, but is that Jorge? Please let's smash the like button. I never ask you guys, but I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting. Thank you, thank you. Um, the Mercado 210 says, "Did you get cramps when you didn't hydrate enough?" No. So luckily for me, I have never gotten cramps when I fasted. I know that's a side effect. I've read about that and I don't know if that's a potassium thing. So if it is, I recommend buying no salt, which is a potassium supplement. Actually, no salt is used as a salt alternative, but I have it. But yes, no, I haven't had issues when it comes to cramps. So, Malungai Mark, I'm going to show this because you had nothing to say on your thing. What's up, bro? It's Mark. Just had my first session with you. Oh yeah, Mark. Yes, of course. Mark. Also, by the way, I know you talked about doing an hour session, and I actually have that on my Calendly. So maybe look into that. Maybe I'll email you because you can sign up for an hour if you'd like to instead of half an hour. Yes, I look forward to talking to you more. I appreciate our coaching or our consultation. So it's great, Mark. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Belta Lauda. Hi, Belta. Question, Jerome. Have you thought about doing call-ins on the show? Maybe you could coach people who call in. Um, yeah. I mean, you mean like literally call in, like on the phone? I don't know how I would do that, other than like getting someone live, right? Like getting them to join the stream. That's not a bad idea. I just don't know the logistics of it, and I feel like I would need an assistant. And I don't make enough money to have an assistant. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I would love to do this full time, and that's kind of why I'm really trying to do as much as I can because I love helping people. And I think, man, if I could do any job in the world right now, it would be to do this and just help people and try to be an inspiration. But it's not a bad idea. I just don't know exactly how I'd go about it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Johnny, Johnny Junya 83. Jerome, I don't think I asked you this question when we talked. But what are I'm trying to think. Johnny. I'm coaching a lot of people. What are the main supplements, if any, you take daily? So I don't take supplements. I don't take electrolytes. I don't take supplements. I don't count how much water I drink. I I know this is gonna sound, I don't know if it's going to sound weird, but like I really like to keep things simple. I don't take electrolytes because I honestly think because I eat 4, 5, 6,000 calories per refeed, I'm getting a lot of my electrolytes and supplements and nutrients in. But I don't even take a multivitamin. I think I should maybe consider it, but I don't know. I'd have to do a little research and see if I actually need to take something to help supplement, especially being 43. Maybe there's something. What I need to do is to go to the doctor and get my lab work done. So I really need to do that. But yes, Johnny, right now I take zero supplements. I don't, even when I refeed, I don't take protein powder. I don't take anything like that. I just eat like, the stuff I show on refeed. That's the stuff I eat. So yeah. Kathleen, Maddox. Kathleen, hi, how's it going? What's the longest fast you've ever done? I've done an 11-day fast. I did it in 2018 and I did it cold turkey. And I also cut caffeine out. I just did strictly water. I did not take electrolytes, and it was miserable, and I would never do one again. I just talked about fasting smarter, not longer. Not that I don't, it's not that I condone. People who want to fast long, I encourage it if you can do it healthily, right? And you're able to function properly. But I did it wrong when I did it during those 11 days. I had never done anything like that in my life. And yeah, the thought of doing one again at that length, also the fact that I have lost and I'm almost at goal weight right now by just doing my 90+ hour fasts and feeling good. I'd rather do this than do much prolonged fast. But yes, 11 days is my longest. I answered more than you were probably asking on there. Isan, am I saying that right? Isan Hassan asks, do you ever experience itching as you're losing weight? No, that's not an issue. I know when it's winter here, sometimes I get dry skin and I get itchy, but that's as far as I get when it comes to like experiencing any kind of itching. So yeah. Sorry, I know that's probably not what you want to hear. I don't have much info on that. Dingbat. I love the name. How do diabetics fast? I know consult with your physician first, but just asking. So here's the thing, Dingbat. I am a type 2 diabetic. I forgot to add that at the beginning of my stream. I'm a type 2 diabetic. If you're a type 1, this might be a completely different story. But for me, as a type 2 diabetic with very high blood sugars in the past, and even before I started fasting again, I just started fasting. I was taking medication. I was taking metformin. My doctor at the time also wanted me to be on Semalga, whatever, the one you inject, but I never did that because I was stubborn and I thought I could just lose the weight by fasting. And it took 2+ years because I didn't know any better. But yeah, I just started doing it. But you already know the answer to this too. Sometimes it's best to maybe talk to your doctor before you do something like this. I'm not a medical professional and I don't want to put you in a position where you could get sick or hurt or worse. So, yeah, but I am a diabetic and a type 2 diabetic, and I do fast. And when I did this in the past, it reversed my diabetes completely. My blood sugars were as normal could be. I think there were many days I woke up and my fasting numbers were sometimes in the high 60s, sometimes in the 70s or low 80s, but somewhere there. I have to do my blood work to really see where I'm at. Alex commenter says, how much is accountability coaching? So if you go to my Calendly, you can see the prices there, but I'll tell you. So first, you can do a free consultation, right? It's free, 15 minutes, we get to talk, but my coaching sessions are $35 for a 25-minute session. They're $35, but there are people who prepay with me and they pay in bulk. So some people will say, hey, Jerome, I want to do this once a week for a month. And then I'll put a little discount. So it won't be $35 per session. Some people will be like, Jerome, I want to do twice a week for 3 months. And then I put a bigger discount when it comes to that. So if you're interested in that, you can just email me or take a look at the link at Calendly and maybe book a consult. Cause again, that's free. I do this because I want to help people, and I do the consultations because I also want people to know that, like, hey, if you just want like to see if we're a vibe or if it's a fit, you can just do that instead. Again, I don't like forcing this stuff on people because I really am trying to help people. That's why I also say the stuff that I share on these videos is the same stuff I do in coaching. It just has more of a personal touch where we talk, we show some accountability, and then we make a plan and implement it. So that's pretty much how it works. If you're interested, other people will sometimes they just want to talk, and some people they talk because they know I've been through this fasting game, and not everyone talks about fasting the way I talk about it. And sometimes there's a weird stigma behind it, and I'm none of those things because I know that fasting works. So, yeah. Okay, Alex, thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Lisa Denise, I'm wondering if you add salt to your water when fasting. Nope, I don't take electrolytes. People do though, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I think adding salt to help you through hunger or any side effects is beneficial. So I'm not against it. Again, people ask me what I drink all the time, and I don't just drink water. I drink black coffee. I drink unsweetened tea. I drink an occasional diet pop or diet soda for people who don't know how to say pop correctly. But yeah, yeah. Sweet tea also asks, are you oh, not sweet tea. I said sweet tea. Sweet tea asks, are you on medication? Some don't go well with fasting. So I was on um I used to be on metformin for my high blood sugar, and I used to be on lisinopril for my high blood pressure, but I just stopped taking it because I felt a little weird when I was on it and fasting, so I'm off it completely. I take zero medication right now. I don't know how good my numbers are because I need to go to the doctor, but I will tell you, I this is the best I felt in a long time. But that's probably because I lost all this weight and because of the fasting. So, yeah. I would not fast and take medication without talking to your doctor because I think that's probably important. So, yeah. Um, okay, let me scroll down here. Detroit versus is that Detroit versus everybody? Lions fan. You know I'm from Chicago. I shouldn't even answer your question. Just kidding. How do you work out fasted for days without feeling weak? You know what? Like I said, this is a lot of building my fasting muscle. I couldn't do this when I first started doing it, but to me now, it just feels normal. I don't feel tired. I don't feel weak. This is something you need to build up to. And I don't even know if you can build up to it. And I'm going to say this again, you're only going to know until you try. So that's really all I can share when it comes to that. I am missing a super chat. Somebody left a super chat. Oh wait, there's more super chats. Hold on. What did I miss here? Malungai Mark with a $2 super chat. Just had the first session. Talk again soon. Wait, did I read that? I might have. Anyway, Malungai Mark, thank you again for the support. Nak M says, been following your plan with a $5 super chat, and also from Malungai. Here's another thank you for your support. Nak M says, been following your plan for about a month and down 30 pounds. That's amazing. 30 pounds in a month. Oh my God. Congratulations to you. I modify it with celery juice or bone broth, but still get results. And really, that's what matters is the results, that you're getting results. And the thing I love about what you just said is you modified it, right? And it doesn't mean you have to do this forever. It doesn't mean you have to do it with celery juice or bone broth forever. It means that as you get accustomed to fasting, then you can maybe scale that down if you want to, or if the results aren't showing, right? Or if you're plateauing, maybe it's time to add exercise in if you're not adding it in, right? Or it's time to shorten your eating. And this is what I love about fasting, everyone. It's flexible. That's why I will never tell people to eat a certain way, exercise a certain way, fast for a certain length, because a lot of this is going to be dependent on you and how long you can do this for, and if you can tolerate it, and if you're mentally ready. There are so many things that come with this that I don't want to bash on other people or channels or whatever, but I don't think people that just tell you do a certain number, they don't know you and they don't know what you're capable of or if you can even do it. And I think a lot of people who are just starting off, you just have to like figure out what works. And maybe starting slow is the best idea. Maybe going gung ho is a better idea for some because that's their motivator, but you're only going to know until you do it. Okay. Oh my God, I missed so many. I'm so sorry. Christella. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this last name. Christella. Yeah, I can't even try. You're gonna have to phonetically tell me how to pronounce it so I pronounce it properly the next time. But with 10 Canadian dollars, thank you so much. I'm so happy to find you. I'm glad you found me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your positivity. Excuse my English. Your English is great. I mean, you know what? I should be the embarrassed one because I only speak one language and I wish I could speak I wish I could at least speak Tagalog. At least I can understand it, but I can't speak it. Christella, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate it. And you also sent another one. Thank you so much. I really need to pronounce your last name. Someone or Christella, teach me how to phonetically pronounce it, and I will pronounce it. Thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let me scroll back up here so I can keep going with these questions. Where am I at? Okay, I seen this. I seen this. Um, Mad Solar asks, "Will you ever start dry fasting?" Not really. I don't think so. And it's also because I'm getting results in what I'm doing, so I don't really find a need to dry fast. Here's the thing, and maybe I haven't been completely clear with the dry fasting, but I guess in a way I dry fast. I go to sleep and I wake up, and that's dry fasting, right? Because I slept and didn't eat. And sometimes when I go to the gym, I don't even drink anything because I'm not thirsty. I'll go for my walk and then I'll go lift weights and I'll go for my other walk, right? Because I walk back from the gym. And so sometimes from waking up to leaving my apartment and being gone for about 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours, that's my dry fast. So maybe I do like a 9, 10 hour dry fast, but that's the extent. I don't really think of doing it any other way. Maybe it's longer because maybe I don't drink anything before I go to bed for a little bit. So that's the extent. I don't plan on doing day dry fasts or 2 day dry fasts. It's not really something I'm wanting to do. It's going to be different for everyone. And I can't speak much about it either because I don't have experience in it. And I can't recommend it to anyone because I don't know what the side effects are for it. I know there's a lot of positive benefits, but, you know, I'm the wrong person to say you need to do it because I can't speak on behalf of people who do it. So, yeah, I guess that's a long way of me saying no. So, thank you for the question, Mad Solar. Thank you. Thank you. RP Mana says, "What are your thoughts on OMAD or keto to get started with longer fasts? I do intermittent fasting, but struggle with prolonged fasts. What are my thoughts on OMAD or keto to get started?" I mean, I guess the only thing I can say about doing keto when it comes to doing prolonged fast is maybe that's a way to prepare yourself from the carb withdrawal that you might face for doing a prolonged fast. As far as OMAD, yeah. I mean, this is what I try to tell other people to do is, hey, if you want to do a 72-hour fast, go for it, right? But I always ask them, what is your backup plan? What's your plan if you can't do 72 hours? What if you only do 18? What if you only do 20 or 23? Then what's the plan? And usually I like to talk to them about what that plan looks like. Oh, you're going to refeed. How long are you going to refeed for? Oh, this is a shorter fast. So you have to be a little more mindful about what you're eating. Otherwise, you're going to overeat and gain weight. And then it's just a matter of doing it, right? Not throwing the day away because you didn't do your prolonged fast. So I say this to you, RP Mana. If you're planning on doing prolonged fasts, yeah, start off with OMAD. Combine OMAD with keto and see how that works. You're only going to know until you do it. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. Okay. Let me scroll down. DMMX1 asks, ever come to the East Coast? I think your chest looks fine. Well, thanks. Thanks for the compliment there. Yeah, actually, I go to New York every year. I was just in New York in November for 8 days. I actually went to shoot an event there. I work as a photographer. I shot an event for Meta actually. But I love New York because I love street photography and I do a lot of street photography. But that's usually where I go on the East Coast. I still have to visit other parts of the East Coast though. I don't know where you're from, DMMM. DMMM. Your name is the hardest to say. But yeah. So I do go, but I need to visit other parts of the East Coast for sure too. J Mia 8244. Have you tried HIT training, high intensity interval training, or is it high interval intensity training? Yeah, I have in the past. I'm not, how can I say this? I'm lazy. So I don't really do it. I do resistance training, right? Strength training at the gym, and I go for walks. And sometimes I'll occasionally do a jog, like real short, but for the most part, I don't. I might do it one day. I might start incorporating it, but right now I'm very happy with what I'm doing and I'm getting results, so I'm okay. But I always hear great things about it. I'm not gonna lie though, I am kind of lazy, which is funny to say because it's like, Jerome, you're lazy, but you do all this work and you've lost all this weight and you do. But yes, sometimes lazy when it comes to the exercise department. So yeah. Queen Ricia, Divalicious. I love the name. When beginning fasting, in your opinion, what's a simple, healthy refeed? A simple, healthy refeed. I mean, chat, I would love for your opinions on this too, but a simple, healthy refeed to me would be probably lean protein. And I want to tell people like, I don't want to say boiled vegetables, but I'm just trying to think of things that are maybe easier on the stomach. But when you ask me about healthy, let me just say the only thing that I can tell you right now is if you want a healthy refeed, don't eat processed foods, especially ultra processed foods. Try to find foods that are natural, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be organic, I guess, but that's what I think of when I think of a healthy refeed is just more of like real food. Um, I'm also the worst person to ask because my diet is not the cleanest. I when my example of a healthy refeed is I start off with a salad and then I eat vegetables and meat, which is usually Brussels sprouts and Italian sausage. I like eating cottage cheese. I like eating peanut butter. And then I eat chicken tenders that are breaded. So I'm the wrong person to ask for that. But I'm guessing like fish, veggies, right? Chicken. Like I think that's probably more of the healthy refeed part, like a mixture, like a combination of like fresh vegetables. I guess that's what goes in my mind when I think about that. Queen Rita, Ricia, Queen Ritia. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm getting Divalicious right though. But thank you for the question. Thank you, thank you. Okay. I'm looking for questions. Give me a second, guys. Ooh, are we done with questions, guys? Oh, here we go. Samir uh Aldurias. I'm probably saying that wrong too. Have you experienced loose skin issue, losing weight through fasting? Yeah. I've talked about this a lot and I get this question asked a lot. I have loose skin here on my neck. You can see it right here. Do you see how that like wrinkles up, right? That's loose skin right here. I have loose skin right here. I have loose skin on my upper arms. You can't see that right now. Oh God, I'm really like very more comfortable in my skin. I have loose skin on my lower belly. So like here, I even have like loose skin at the bottom of my back here too. But the other places my loose skin is mostly on my lower stomach, and then I have loose skin on my upper inner thighs, which I remember the first time I saw that, I didn't even realize I had it. And then I was like, oh wow, this is loose skin. But yeah, I have loose skin. So um I get that question asked a lot, a lot, a lot. I don't know if I could ever share it fully, but yeah. And I've said this before. The only loose skin that bothers me is this here on my neck because it's just like really visible and I don't like when it kind of like bunches up like this. But I've said this, I think I said this last week. When I hit my goal weight of 140 pounds, I am just going to try to maintain it for at least a year before I decide to do anything about loose skin, if I even do anything at all. part of me feels very happy with where I'm at and how I look. And I don't know if I'll ever do anything about it. But if I do anything, it would be this skin right here. See how it like bunches up and it just stays there? And then I have it here too, but because I'm a guy and like I can grow a beard, I kind of minimizes that. So I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, let me scroll down here. Guys, thank you for all the chat. I love that you guys are in here chatting and talking with each other and supporting each other. I love that. I love it. Um, wow, guys. I think we're good. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Angela asks, "Hey Jerome, apart from the YouTube membership, have you thought about having a community space?" Yes, that is actually something that I think I will get out next week if I can. I only discovered you in 2023, but being from London, I doubt I'll catch the lives. It's awesome. It's awesome in the chats. Yeah, I was supposed to release this community thing in January, but I have not been able to because I've just had so much other work going on. But hopefully next week I'm going to have something for that. So look out for that, and I'll announce it soon. And I wouldn't just release it without announcing it. So stay tuned for that. Definitely stay tuned for that. Okay. Um, Alex says, "What made you decide the first day was the first day to start this fasting journey?" Yeah, I can share this. So, and actually, let me share it by sharing this here. So, while I get into this, um, I and this is me answering my question of starting back on YouTube. What ended up happening is I was working at a portrait studio, and we were doing some test shots and they asked me to sit and be one of the people taking the test shots. And they took a photo of me doing like a yearbook photo, right? Like a senior yearbook photo. I'm going to share this in a second. And when they took that picture of me, I could not stop laughing at it. I thought the picture was so funny. And what happened is I was like, God, I have not been on YouTube in over 2 years and nobody knows where I've been. And I love this picture so much, which is now my profile picture still for Finally Fasting. And I'm like, I love this picture so much that I just want to share it with everyone. And I did. And um, as embarrassed as I was gaining all the weight back, I wanted to share this picture because I thought it was great and I thought it was funny. And I loved that I just had a mustache and it was like a yearbook style photo. And the crazy part is when I posted this picture, I did not expect the response I got from it. So many of you guys who saw me on Instagram liked the photo, but then had so many words of support. Like it was the most support I've seen, and I was in a really low spot in my life. And I remember I I was working that day, and as I was leaving work, I was like sobbing because I could not believe how much support there was. And when I looked at that support, it made me think, you know what? I want to do this again. And that's what got me back into fasting. I ended up doing a live stream, and you can find it on YouTube, right? My first live stream. I did it a day before I started fasting. I waited. I didn't wait. Yeah, literally waited the next day. When I talk about don't wait till Monday, I waited. So I get it, guys. I've been there. But I went live and I talked about exactly what I was going to do, and I've stuck to it. And 70 plus pounds later, I'm here right now, which is crazy. It's crazy. But yes, that's what made me get back on it. I say this because it's you guys that got me back on it. And that's why I've been doing YouTube now. And that's why I share as much as I can, because I couldn't do this without you. I'm here for all of you guys too, to show you that it can be done, that somebody who's been obese their entire life can still lose the weight and do it in a way where you're not like struggling, right? You're doing it in a way that's doable and in a way where you make the rules for it. That's what I love about fasting. You make the rules. It's just trying to find what works for you and guiding yourself to lose that weight. So yeah. DMMX1 says, "Do you have PayPal or Cash App?" So people have been asking me this too, and like I feel so weird asking for donations, but I mean, yes, I do have a. I don't have PayPal. I have Cash App. Um, it's here. And you know what? Oh my God. And you know what? I forgot to say this too. And I know Jonathan is gonna kill me. He's not gonna kill me. This is my Cash App, by the way. It's $ Jerome finally fasting. I forgot to say at the top of the hour, Jonathan sent me a $10 Cash App or $10 Cash App donation. So I want to thank Jonathan too. Um, I'll email him later and say it's at the 1 hour, 43-minute mark. Jonathan, thank you for the $10 Cash App donation. I forgot to give you props at the top of the hour here. But yes, if you are interested in that, you can help me there too. So thank you. Thank you for even bringing it up, DMMX1. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Johnny asks, Jerome, I know you talk about eating disorders before. Do you go to therapy? I do. So I've been going to therapy for over a year now. And it's at this point, it's probably over a year and a half, if not longer. I have to double check when I first started. I definitely am an emotional eater. So am I. Most of this, if not all, is a mental thing, at least for me. And yeah, it is. It is very much a mental thing for me. But you know what? Let me share this really quick too. So for a long time, and I still say it and I still believe it, I am an emotional eater. I eat when I'm stressed out. I eat because it's comforting for me. I eat when I have problems. I eat because it numbs the pain. I eat because it makes me forget about my issues. But you know, one thing I've realized too is I eat because I like to eat. I eat because I want the feeling of how good food tastes. I eat because I like feeling full during that moment in time. This is something I don't think I could have admitted before, but it's one of the reasons I do what I do. I eat because I like it. And that's me coming to terms with the truth that food is an addiction for me. That's how much I love it, is that I just want to eat it. And the thought of fasting is so much harder than the thought of just eating and enjoying food. But the more I can keep coming to terms with it, the more I feel like I can own my shit. Does that make sense? Um, this is some of the stuff that I will talk about too during my coaching sessions because I think it's important, because there are a lot of us who emotionally eat and it's not an easy thing to get over. And sometimes just being able to talk about those issues is very helpful. But yeah, I eat for all of these issues and it's also why I go to therapy, but I've also come to realize I eat the way I do because I like it and I like being full, at least in that point in time. There are other things that I have discovered recently, but we don't have time for it today. Maybe in another live stream I'll talk about it. But yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm scrolling down, guys. That's why I'm not talking. I'm just seeing what you guys are talking about. God, it's so great to see you guys talk to each other. I love this. I love this. Um, Angela, yeah, that was me 4 months ago in that photo. Right here. And that's me 4 months ago, 4.5 months ago. I think I took this picture in November-ish, early November. And then after that response, then I decided to come back on YouTube. And it was because of you guys. It was because of you guys. So Superman asks, has there been any negative effects to fasting the way you are? Nope, not at all. I have the most energy that I've had in forever. I sleep well, or at least better than when I was obese. I feel great mentally. I feel great. I don't get tired anymore. I don't sweat all the goddamn time. Here's the thing, Superman. I don't know why I took away that question. Um, if you think about it, I weighed 220, being 5'3", wearing a size 38 waist pants, could barely walk up the steps without feeling tired, could never sleep at night because I'd wake up every 2 or 3 hours. I would go to the bathroom 4, 5, 6 times a night to pee because my blood sugar was so high. My blood pressure was through the roof. Everything was not good. And the only negative effect that I've had since fasting, the only negative effect is I get hungry. And I've said this before in one of my videos. Think about all of the pros when it comes to fasting: the weight loss, feeling better, healthy, like feeling better physically, feeling better mentally, not sweating all day, right? Not spending so much money on food, having energy, being comfortable in your skin, being confident. Think of all the positives when it comes to fasting. Then think of the negatives. You're hungry. If that's the only side effect and you know you're not going to die because you're just hungry, it's time to start shifting that mental part in your brain to be like, oh, okay, I can see, why that is, or why Jerome does what he does. There are going to be different side effects for people, especially if you're new to this, right? Carb withdrawal sucks. Feeling fatigued sucks. Being weak sucks, right? Having headaches sucks. But that's where you try to supplement electrolytes. That's where you actually go ahead and then break your fast and then start again and then see if it's easier the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth time around. So just things to consider as you're doing this. Fashionably Cat asks, Superman, thank you for the question. There's a lot of talk that dieting causes weight gain. Are you afraid that the fasting makes you binge and will result in future weight gain? Nope. People have commented and said that fasting doesn't work because look, Jerome just gained all the weight back again. And that has nothing to do with fasting. It has everything to do with my stress eating, using food for comfort, being a binge eater in general. That is what my issue is. I am learning along the way through therapy and through everything that I'm doing. I don't think I'm scared that fasting is going to make me binge, because even if I wasn't fasting, I was already binging. I was binging way before I ever started fasting. I've been binging since I was a teenager. I've been going I haven't been going to therapy forever, but I started going to therapy when I was a teenager. Um no, I take that back. Early 20s, I think. But I knew I had an eating issue when I was a teenager. I knew I was binging and purging when I was that young. So I've already had that disorder. And fasting is the only way to really curb a lot of that thinking. I think being older and like actually thinking about what's been happening and going to therapy, that's what's helping me. But fasting has nothing to do with my binging. Fasting has everything to do with my health. So, um, it might be different for other people, but I know for a fact that when I gained all that weight back when I left YouTube, that wasn't because I was fasting. That was because I let my binge eating take over. I hid. I didn't want to be accountable. I was doing all the unhealthy things that I knew I shouldn't have been doing, but I was doing it because I wanted to eat. I wanted that rush, right? Of how I was feeling. So, Mr. VO. Hey, Jerome. Hey, where's your email posted? It's posted right here. You can email me at hello@jeromeortega.com. And for anyone who does email me, please, if you're going to email me because you want to, don't email me to be like, hey, what's up, Jerome? I mean, it's cool and all, but like I don't want too much email. So But yes, that's my email. That's how you can reach me, Mr. VO. Okay. I think we're going to wrap it up here in a little bit, but I just want to make sure I try to answer everyone in here if I can. I think we're good. Oh, I already answered this earlier. Toao, I can't pronounce that. 2AO, what's your longest fast? 11 days. And I said this earlier, I would never do it again. I don't really like fasting for that long. Sometimes I'll fast for longer periods because I'm really just trying to push numbers and get my weight down. But yeah, I just started a 6-week fast, 1,000 hours. Starting weight is 265 at 6 feet. My goal is 200. I don't know if you just came in here, but this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. I First of all, I support you. If you can healthily fast for 6 weeks, which is a shit long time, I'm supportive, right? If you feel good and you can get up and you can walk around, but like I also want to say this as somebody who is talking about doing a 6-week fast, give yourself some grace. If this is your first time fasting or fasting for this long, I don't know how easy it's going to be. And the moment you start feeling really weak or things are tough, right? And this is discerning, this is differentiating feeling hungry versus feeling hungry and feeling like you're going to pass out. If you are at this point where you feel like you're going to pass out or you feel shitty and you can't do things in your life, I would break. And I say this with all the kindness in the world. There is no shame in breaking early if you have to. If you can get through this 6 weeks, more power to you. That would be fucking awesome. 6 weeks is a long time, though. That's a month and a half of fasting. I just say this because I want you to be able to fast for as long as you can, whether it's 6 weeks, whether it's 5 weeks, whether it's 3 days, but to be able to refeed if you need to, and then hit that fasting timer again and go again. Because I really am here now to promote that fasting should be more of a lifestyle. This is something that we should be able to do consistently and feel normal doing and still live our lives normally. So I would love for you though to keep me posted on how it's going and what you're doing, and hopefully you can get through it. So please keep us posted. Please keep us posted. Appreciate it. Um, okay, last question here. Casey, hi Casey, how's it going? I don't understand rolling fasts. How long in between do you take a break in between fasts, and are you eating 3 meals on those days? So I said this earlier, and Casey, if you're new, and you might be because I talk about this on every live stream and in all of my videos. A rolling fast is doing an extended fast and then you are refeeding, eating for a short period of time. That length of time is going to be dependent on you. There's something called an OMAD, which means you eat 1 meal a day, and most people will fast for 23 hours, and then they will eat for 1 hour, and then they will fast for another 23 hours, and then they will eat again for another hour. Rinse, repeat. That is a rolling 23. I perform something a little more extended, really. So I do rolling 90s, which means I fast for 90 hours plus. I fast for usually around 4 days, and then I eat within a 4-hour eating window. Why do I eat within a 4-hour eating window? Well, that's a number I gave myself through trial and error. I eat 5,000, 6,000 calories per refeed. And that's why I only give myself 4 hours, because if I gave myself 8 hours, I would probably eat more and I wouldn't lose weight as much as I have been. This also means that you shouldn't fast for that long or eat as much as I do or refeed for as long as I do. But this is more about finding what works for you. But essentially, that's what a rolling fast is. You're fasting for an extended period of time, and then you're eating for a short period of time. You're not eating 3 meals a day because that's not really a rolling fast. Then you're just eating with an extended eating window, which there's nothing wrong with doing either. But the thing that people should think about is every time you eat, you spike your insulin up. Every time you eat, you spike your insulin up. Every time you spike your insulin up, your body can't burn fat because your body is now trying to process the food you just ate. So as your insulin goes down, that takes time. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where your insulin isn't spiking and your body can start burning fat again. Here's the thing with eating 3 times a day: you eat, you spike your insulin, your body can't burn fat. As it's going down, if you decide to have a snack in the middle of the day, it spikes up again, can't burn fat. As it's going down again, you decide to eat again, spikes it back up, can't burn fat. That's why I fast for as long as I do. And the results show, because I've lost this much weight in this amount of time, even though I eat so many calories per refeed. So, okay, before I leave, 2 things. One, your weight doesn't define you. I've said this many times. The amount you weigh doesn't define you as a person. We're here for the same reasons: to lose weight or to keep the weight off. But also, this is a place where you should give yourself the opportunity to love yourself, respect yourself, and accept yourself, no matter what weight you are. The one thing that I have learned over time is when I weighed 235, when I weighed 220, when I weighed 200, when I weighed 125, I was the same person. I was always the same person. But I let my weight define me. I let my weight dictate how I should act, if I should hide in my apartment because I was embarrassed, that I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. And I probably still wouldn't be if I weighed that much. But I never gave myself the opportunity to really love myself and respect myself the way I should. Self-worth is so important in who we are. And I do think having that instilled in you early on can help you in your journey to at least remember that you're still the same person no matter what you weigh. Because who knows, if you gain that weight back, you got to remind yourself you're still that same person, that you're still that funny person, that charismatic person, that people still love you for who you are. Sounds cliche, but it's very much the truth. Second thing I want to point out here too is, for anyone that's struggling, for anyone that's having a hard time, you're not alone, right? You're talking to someone right now who has been obese his entire life, who has tried every diet in the book, who has found fasting as a way to lose the weight and keep the weight off, but then gain it all back again. And then come back to YouTube showing you that I gained all the weight back and was embarrassed and didn't know if I could do this again, but I did the damn thing and I'm doing the damn thing. And I'm probably being more vulnerable and more transparent as I have ever been since I started doing this. You're not alone in this. I'm fasting just like you are right now. I've been fasting when you probably weren't fasting. I've been doing 90+ hour fasts for the last 4.5+ months. I'm doing it because I want to hit my goals, but I'm doing it as a way to show you that I want to be accountable too. You guys are the people keeping me accountable. When when I'm coaching people and I have those spreadsheets and they fill them out, that's them being accountable to me. But me posting these live streams, me showing you my nerdy stats that I do every Sunday, me posting videos on YouTube or posting pictures on Instagram, is me being accountable to you. I can't do this without you, just as much as I think some of you think you can't do this without me, which means that we're not doing this alone. Anytime you're struggling and you think you can't do this, just remember Jerome's doing it too. I'm fasting too. I'm currently fasting. And even though I'm not fasting the most right now, I'm 22 hours in and I'm going to be fasting until I hit 90 hours and then I'm breaking again. But for the last 126 days, I have been fasting for the majority of them. I have only eaten on 31 of those 126 days. So I'm fasting with you. and have been for the last 4.5 plus months. You're not alone. That's all I got, I think. Yeah. I think I'm going to leave it here. I want to thank everybody again for being here today and spending some time with me, being in the chat, being kind to each other, supporting each other. I really think that's all I got. So I will see you in the next one. I'll be posting a video soon, so you guys can look out for it. Thank you so much. I'll see you next Sunday. And even before that, you'll see more videos from me in the near future. Okay.